Listen up, you blundering fools. It's time for the Cracktastic Plastic Podcast. Get all the toy talk your eagle hearts could desire from these nincompoops. Jason and Elgin.
Yo, Joe, and welcome to the Cracktastic Plastic Podcast, where friends get together to talk about one of our shared loves,
French toast,
and toy collecting. We're here to celebrate how these little colorful pieces of plastic can transform you into a little kid again. If this is your first time listening to us or watching us live on YouTube every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. But you're going to learn soon enough. We, on the top row of the video here, not toy experts. We are just enthusiasts. I don't know about these other guys. We'll find out later, but just want to let you know you're in for some fun, confusing times. But speaking of details, let me introduce myself. I'm Jason. Over there's Elgin.
Hi, I'm Elgin. I'm over here.
That's Elgin. And joining us for this episode are two experts in all things movies, Sam Lenz and Casey Kelderman from the Screams in the Basement podcast. These two cinephiles live and breathe film, bringing their deep knowledge of movies, horror, and pop culture to the conversation. With their keen eyes for on-screen details, Sam and Casey will help us break down the best toy cameos in film and TV. Get ready for some fun insights, nostalgic deep dives, and maybe even a few surprises as we talk toys in the movies. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Welcome.
Well, tell us a little.
Excited to talk toys.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourselves, your toy journey. How kind of collectors are you? Give us the 411.
I'm pretty amateur as far as toy collecting goes. I was a poor growing up. I'm still kind of a poor now. I don't have a lot of space in my place. And so, I collect what I can and when I can. Growing up, it was a lot of like going to flea markets and finding like toys and like bins and stuff like that, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Now it's kind of like conventions. I'm still looking through like the bins that are like $3 because like that's where you find all the good stuff, in my opinion.
Definitely.
I love that stuff. It's where you find all the like classic Ninja Turtles and I was a huge Star Wars kid growing up. My biggest toy collection is definitely my Star Wars action figures.
Nice.
But yeah. Casey, what about you?
Yeah, I was a huge toy kid. Like I went everywhere with my toys, and then my bedroom was always covered in them. I was always Star Wars was a big one for me. Power of the Force and Phantom Menace, and then the Attack of the Clones era toys. Like those were my big ones. Had so many of those. And then my biggest one though was professional wrestling. Like I would get professional wrestlers, WWE wrestlers, every birthday, every Christmas, every random holiday. Every time I went to Walmart and begged my parents, or when we went to Toys R Us, I begged for a new wrestling action figure. I think at one point I had like 200 or 300 WWE figures and like 5 or 6 rings. Like I was obsessed with that. And then I got out of it obviously as I grew up, but now as a full-fledged adult, I'm like, I want toys again. Toys are so much fun. Like toys are such a big part of my childhood, and I told myself I would only collect a certain type of toy, and then that led to
other types of toys.
Too many different ones.
We all say that.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about Screams from the Basement. I think I said Screams in the Basement. I'm dumb, but Screams from the Basement, your podcast.
Scream in the basement too.
You can scream anywhere you want, but when it's in the basement, tell us about your podcast.
Well, we are a horror podcast that every other week we talk about a double feature. Sometimes the double features make sense. Sometimes they don't at all. We just each pick a movie at random. And then we alternate weeks, and we'll have a guest, like usually a filmmaker or an actor or someone from the horror genre. on the pod to talk about whatever their latest project is, you know, and it's been pretty fun. We've been at it for how long have we had this one, Casey? This podcast?
Just over 2 years.
Just over 2 years. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
But been doing it
fun.
for years and years.
Yeah. Yeah.
The latest incarnation. Yeah.
The latest incarnation. Yeah, exactly. And I'd say the most successful, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
easily the most successful. We got a whole film festival out of it and a horror convention out of it. We're literally just stealing the Attack of the Killer podcast model of how to do things.
That's
Yeah.
probably a mistake, but you'll find that out later. It's fine.
Hey, you're still doing it.
Yeah,
Something must
still
be
going
going right.
Still
Yeah.
going.
Well, before we jump into today's episode, we've got something exciting to tell you about. Our Patreon and YouTube community, The Core. When you enlist in The Core, the Cracktastic organization of retro plastic specialists, you unlock a treasure trove of exclusive perks made just for hardcore collectors like you. You get bonus episodes, shoutouts, early access, plus an exclusive chat with us and the other Core members. So don't wait. Enlist in The Core today. Just go to enlistinthecore.com to help support the show.
Lights, camera, playtime. In this episode, we're talking about the toys that make surprise appearances in our favorite movies and TV shows. Whether it's that legendary action figure on a kid's shelf, a doll that steals a scene, or a playset that adds a touch of nostalgia to the background, we're hunting down the coolest and sometimes weirdest toy cameos on screen. From big budget blockbusters to classic sitcoms, join us as we break down the toys that made it into pop culture history. So we're going to be talking toys and movies. And then later, Elgin's going to take us on a tour of a toy store. And that's going to be super fun.
Mm-hmm.
And you can follow us on all our social media platforms, including Patreon. Those links can be found at our website, cracktasticplastic.com. And while you're surfing the interwebs, be sure to stop by our sponsor, toyhacks.com, for all your repro label needs. They have an armory where you can get some toy-accurate 3D printed weaponry and tons of amazing sticker sets for your toys. We also have a monthly contest that Elgin's going to tell you about.
That's right. Every month we post something on our social media pages, a contest of some sort. And we have you comment so that we can win a $5 coupon to Toy Hacks. But make sure you comment so that we can pick you so that you can actually win. If you don't comment, you don't win. That's pretty easy, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, every month we'll try to post something. So be sure you're following all of our social media platforms and check that out to win $5 to toyhacks.com.
All right. And want to hear from you over in the chat. Get in the chat now. We'll read your comments on the show. But right now, let's talk about what toys we've picked up lately in a segment we call Thrill of the Hunt.
Listen up, you fools! If anyone knows more about searching for the most unique items in the world, it's me, Cobra Commander. In my reign as Cobra's leader, I have acquired countless items, but those meddling Joes have foiled my attempt at worldwide domination over and over again. But it's the thrill of the hunt that fuels my superb rule of Cobra. Pay attention to my loyal subordinates as they tell you of their latest exploits and acquisitions. It's the thrill of the hunt, Cobra!
All right. Enough of that wackiness. Here's Elgin. What have you picked up lately, buddy?
I just got a couple of things here since we have some guests. I don't want to take that too much time, so they can talk some more, But definitely not knowing that we're going to talk about wrestling stuff. I actually have some wrestlers to talk about.
Yeah.
Unknowingly, I guess. The first one up is this Ultimate Edition Bray Wyatt that I got sent through the Playwright Review program to Mattel that I'm part of. They send out figures and then I review them and keep them for free. So as long as I do a good job, I guess I get to keep them. But this was the Pitch Black Bray Wyatt match, the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match that he had with LA Knight at the Royal Rumble. And
Dude, that's translucent blue, or is it just painted?
It's just painted, but if you use a UV light on it, it kind of pops up pretty much. And it was a UV light match as well.
Cool.
But yeah, this is so the Ultimate Edition has the little toe feature there that can bend. It's got the butterfly shoulders, so you can his back as much. And then I think the hip pops out a little bit too, so you can get extra extension of the hip as well. The Ultimate Editions are the top of the line for all the WWE figures that they have out. But the nice thing with this Ultimate Edition, that came with extra parts as well. So if you wanted to, so this was his final form in that match. So basically, he came out as normal Bray Wyatt, I guess. But you can actually change him out. It came with 2 other head sculpts. So if you wanted to pop off his arms and put in his, when he first came out in the match, he came out as kind of quote unquote normal.
Right.
Bray Wyatt. Not that Bray Wyatt's ever been normal, rest in peace for him. But he came out with his little lantern.
Oh, nice.
And he came out with this, with his actual tattooed arms and everything. And he did his match versus LA Knight.
Yeah.
And had that, comes with a little lantern as well. So then you could, and it comes with some extra hand sculpts as well. But then later on in the match, you can pop in this other head, and he kind of transforms into this masked face.
Dang, you need like 3 of these so you can have one
I know.
of each.
Well, Mattel
Yeah,
just should send me 3 of them,
I
I think. And then it would be fine. But yeah, then you can do it to his full like blue purpley form. He did come with some extra hand sculpts as well. The kind of just more of the, for that holding hand and like, you know, doing stuff with that. And then for this normal hands, I guess. Oops. Everyone put those as well. But yeah, it's
Nice.
very cool for an Ultimate Edition. And for basically his last really paid live event that he did before he passed away, unfortunately too young. This was kind of his last big, he was going to do this, that kind of purple pitch black stuff. That was going to be his new thing going. The Fiend had basically died, and now this was the new version of that as he was going forward. Unfortunately, he didn't get to do any of that and passed way too soon.
Casey, I've been trying for a long time to get Elgin to start a wrestling podcast. Maybe tonight, little love connection.
I gotta say, that was, I believe, Sam, was that was your first wrestling show
That
you
was
ever
my
watched,
first
right?
wrestling show I watched.
Was
yeah,
that Royal
yeah.
Rumble from
Yeah.
what 2023?
23? Yeah,
Yep.
2023.
And
Yeah.
frankly, the thing I remember the most about that match was, or about that whole event, was the Bray Wyatt LA Knight match.
Yeah.
And I went back and I watched like a ton of Bray Wyatt matches, and then a few months later he was gone, and it was
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
All the Firefly Funhouse stuff and all that was
Yep.
great. Like all it was like very inventive, and just like the combination of that combined with the horror aspect with that as well was great. And like his
Yep.
stuff with Cena, at the very end there, like, when they didn't have any
He predicted
people.
the future, Elgin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they already showed him in NWO gear. He's turning heel. It's like he's already there. He knew he was way ahead of himself.
Channel member Just Tiffany says reviews for free toys is the best, Elginomics.
Heck yeah, it is. And then so another version, like a different kind of Ultimate figure, basically, is this. I found this Sting, but now Sting was in the AEW. He's actually retired now, but he was in AEW when he retired. It's this new Sting that they just put out as well, from his time in AEW. This was from the Double or Nothing. I don't really watch a lot of AEW, unfortunately, but from 2021. And it does have similar. So these are put out by Jazzwares, and they do have the butterfly shoulders, and they even have the little toe as well, much like Ultimate Edition. They don't really have that hip dislocation that the other ones do, but they do have everything else, ab crunches and whatnot. This also came with a ton of stuff. So these are like the supreme, unrivaled supreme figures, is what they call the AEW ones. I love Sting. I loved him all the time, way back in the day, WCW. And yeah, so he's got this head sculpt here with him screaming. And then he's got, I'll just hold him off here. Oops. This other one, where he's like kind of happy.
I'm confused.
And then this one more of a solemn look, I guess, to him.
I'm brooding.
Brooding. He does, of course, come with a bat.
Well, yeah.
I did make a bet, which well known in the podcast here. For one of the I did a kit bash for Sting from a WWE Tourney figure, and then something else, and I used a dowel stick and got the old bench grinder out and made a baseball bat, and then painted it black for him, and then used Undertaker's trench coat, which this Sting also does come with a nice soft trench coat.
Oh, nice.
Which is a giant, and it's kind of soft and kind of polyester-esque, but
Yeah.
it's a nice coat as well. So I got this on clearance. This figure is like barely out in stores, and I think in Pella, and I found it on clearance for like under $20. They're like a $40+ toy
Yeah.
for these Unraveled Supremes. Never seen any of them go clearance. They just happen to have it like clearance there.
Yoink.
So I just grabbed one and then ran away.
Just not into wrestling in Pella, Iowa. you
Yeah, I
know?
guess not.
Yeah.
He also does come with a couple more soft goods shirts. He has this little t-shirt one, Sting on there.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then he does have his long sleeve one. He tended to wear a lot of long sleeve ones later in his career. It's kind of long sleeve Sting shirt as well. And then he had some more hand sculpts as well. So you get some fists and some holding hands and whatnot. Oh, he does also come with this mask that he has that you can put over the top.
So you
Kind
can
of
do
like what he
the
used to do.
Sting over the Sting.
Whoa.
Exactly in WCW when like it's like, oh, it's fake Sting, and then it's like, oh no, it's real Sting.
It's real Sting.
And then they're all like, oh no. That's one thing I loved about him, because he was like the anti-hero and would take on the NWO, even though eventually he did turn to the red NWO face paint and stuff. But like when he first was on the scene, it was so great. And I love the Crow too. And that combination of that wrestling and everything was awesome. But yeah, basically half priced for an Unraveled Supreme figure, which is crazy. I've been waiting for like other ones to go on sale and never see them, like the Cody Rhodes one and some other ones. So it's like, yeah. But yeah, so that's what I have so far.
That's it. All right.
Yes.
Well, let's have Casey go up next. Since we know he has toys.
I do. I'm going to keep the wrestling train going.
All right.
Because I also love a good deal on wrestling figures.
Heck
I
yeah.
told myself I wasn't going to buy wrestling figures, and then you can't beat some of these prices. So
Yeah.
got this one at Walmart. Brody King. Got him on clearance for like $10.
Nice.
So
Good price.
Brody
Cool.
King from House of Black.
Yep.
So
Lot of
many
tattoos.
tattoos on this guy.
AEW.
My favorite one though is, it's not going to show up, but he has a
Toxic?
little toxic
yeah.
Toxic Avenger on his trunks, or by his trunks. Comes with this cool chain, face paint. This is like the Walmart exclusive. There's a Darby Allin that goes with this as well. I already have a Darby, so I didn't pick that up, but I can't beat a wrestling deal on clearance
Definitely.
figures. Speaking of, I went to Ross this past weekend, and sometimes you can luck out on some insane deals at Ross. So
Yeah.
I picked up 4 wrestling figures, 4 AEW figures that I absolutely did not need, but they were $4 each. So I bought all 4 of them.
It's hard not to. Do
yeah.
that.
The coolest one though is Kenny Omega with his
Oh yeah.
cool ass jacket on. Comes with the AEW title as well. He's got the like Triple H beard in this one.
Oh, the stash.
Super cool jeans, torn up. And like I like that. So these jeans are like molded.
Mhm.
They're not painted. So like all the holes and stuff in them are all molded into it.
That's neat.
It's not just painted on. So super cool. I picked up a couple other ones, but they were just like one was Sammy Guevara, and no one wants to touch
$4.
it.
You had
It was
to.
$4.
You didn't have a
I
choice.
couldn't pass it up.
Can't not do that.
My favorite one though, got this at Target on like super clearance again for like $6. Hangman Adam Page in his full gear championship, his championship winning gear that he wore when he beat Kenny Omega for the AEW title in Minneapolis, which I was there for. So this has like a
Awesome.
super like sentimental
Aw.
value to me, where I'm like, I need this because I was there. And
saw
yeah,
him do
this is the gear he wore when he beat Kenny in that incredible match, and it was like a culmination of AEW's first 2 years. Basically, was this match. So I don't like Hangman's face, but it's fine. It's fine.
Let's rock.
Screaming face.
Yeah. And then the last one I want to show off, just because I put it in my bio there. I got Dr. Killamoff from the Toxic Crusaders Trick or Treat Studios line. I do have a Toxie. I have a whole Toxie shelf right there with some of the OGs and Super 7s in there. But I know Trick or Treat Studios is continuing this line that I saw at New York Toy Fair this weekend.
Yeah, who's next?
I'm getting real itchy. Either Toxie's girlfriend Yvonne or the mayor of
just so slow. I love those figures though. So great. Mine's in my pile of loot.
Yeah, what's awesome is like these are so affordable. Like they're like $20 each. Like you can't beat that. I almost feel like I need to get 2 of them just so I can open them and actually give my OG figures some of the accessories that I don't have.
Because there's so many accessories.
Yeah, and they're so hard to find and they're so expensive.
Yeah,
but
they are. Cool. Yeah, Dr. Killamoff.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, Sam.
Okay, so mine are not recent at all, but I've never been on this show, so
it's recent to
everybody listening. This is actually, I picked these up at Halloween-a-Palooza 2 years ago because I was not able to make it to the last year. I've always been a monster kid. Like growing up, the Universal monsters were huge to me, and for the longest time, I only had a Frankenstein from a Burger King meal that I had, and I'd only gotten the one Frankenstein, and I still have 2 of them because this is my OG Frankie. This is a brand new one that I got at Halloween-a-Palooza with the rest of the Burger King figures. Casey and I were heading out for the night. It was like the vendors were closing up. We were going back to our hotel room and we were going to come back to do all the after dark stuff. And I just happened to look over at a table and they just had them.
The light laying came out of nowhere.
It was insane. Like just out of the corner of my eye, I caught it, and I was like, and they were all in the bag. Like Dracula comes with his little coffin.
Dang.
Like you can raise him up out of it. Like if you
so cool
plug him in, he just like. I'm not going to do it on this because it'll take too long. But yeah, like Frankenstein has his little operation table. Creature's supposed to squirt water by pressing his belly. I've never gotten him to work actually because I love like messing with my cats.
Right.
So but yeah, that was just like one of those things where I had always wanted to find the rest of them because for whatever reason I've just kept that little Frankenstein with me for my ever since that, like I got that Burger King kids meal. And I finally found the rest of them, and it just made me so happy. And
awesome score.
Casey can attest. I geeked about it for like pretty much the whole weekend. So
it was a great find.
It was great. This one was not necessary. I don't know. Do you guys count Funko Pops as toys?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this one I picked up just this past year when Casey and I were at SuperCon doing our thing. We got to interview Doug Jones at the State Theater for like a screening involving SuperCon. And I was walking around SuperCon. There was a Funko Pop station, and the Amphibian Man from Shape of Water was there. And I was like, I got to get the Amphibian Man. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I went and Doug actually signed this for free.
Aww.
Because he's a sweetheart, and he gave me a hug, and it was wonderful. It was just a great experience. So that's
awesome.
Like kind of just, this is one of those that like I take everything out of the packaging, and for obvious reasons, I'm just never taking this out of the packaging. Like this stays the way it is. So
You should get a protective case for it.
Yeah.
I should, yeah.
The
I
clear
really
protective
should.
ones, they're pretty cheap.
Yeah.
They're not too much to protect something like that, you know.
Yeah. So that's my big purchase, I guess.
You guys need to help convince Sam he needs to buy those NECA Universal monsters that look like the Burger King.
Oh, the ones that look
ones.
like the Burger King? I have. Oh my god, I don't know where it went.
NECA's releasing ultimate versions of those that look like the Burger King ones.
I think you need them.
I have a bride somewhere around
They
here.
just
I
put out
can't
Toonie
find it.
Terrors of the 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, so they're really stylized in the long, stretched out Scooby-Doo style.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Oh, I love those Toonie Terrors. I have some Chucky ones on display in my living room. I have Chucky and Tiffany. So, which we'll talk about later.
All right. Well, I found some. We got Sam needs every version of the monster.
You do.
I do. I like if I had all the money in space, I would be like, my apartment would just be covered in Universal monsters. That's entirely my stuff. So
heck yeah. All right, well, I've picked up some things too. My lovely assistant's going to just hand me random things. Okay, so a couple episodes ago, we had Insane Mike and Brandy on, and we talked about Goodwill hunting, going to Goodwill stores and stuff, because they're like experts at that, and gave us lots of great hints and tips and tricks. And it turned out that day we'd went around to Tiffany and I went to some Goodwills, and I found a Transformers Rescue Bots toy, and which is only the second toy I found at a Goodwill, and the first one was a Rescue Bots toy. And so then, like, the next day or 2 days later, Insane Mike comes and finds me at work, and he's like, brings me this bag of toys, and he's like, here, since I know you're going to collect them now, we got some more Rescue Bot toys. And so he gave me some more little dudes. These are just, the super kid versions of them, but blades. Oh yeah, that should have been that way. Yep. So I got 3 more of them little guys, and that's pretty cool. Then we did a crazy trip up to Des Moines the other day and went to Brass Armadillo. It's like antique store with a million vendors, and I have no idea what these were when I first saw them. I think Tiffany recognized them as Roblox kind of, but I just saw these little dudes, these little vinyl figures. I'm like, well, that's cute. I just need it. It's like $1. So I had to grab this pig head, pig clown, pig head, clown pig head clown. Anyway, I can't remember his name. And he's just super cute. No articulation, but just adorable as heck.
I thought it was a mascot for Jack in the Box. But...
Oh, there's knees. There's knees too. What the? Wow. Very cool. And there was another little dude, just weird little one-eyed, no hand, spiky mouse thing with not an ear, but a saw blade. I don't know.
Gear.
Like a cyberpunk mouse.
Yeah, but I think also from a Roblox character game. I don't really know.
I'll have to ask my son.
Oh, from Piggy. That's a Piggy line.
Oh,
Roblox.
Yeah,
Piggy.
I think I've seen that on that.
Yeah,
store.
Piggy Clown was the one. Gearhead, Fisher Price style. Then we the store called JCD and Hobby, trying to get my brain to catch up.
Yeah.
They moved locations from the Merle Mall to Ankeny, and we had a little time to kill the other day, so we were like, let's go check it out. And it's so much bigger. It's so gigantic. It's amazing, and it's worth going to now. I don't know that it was before in the Merle Mall, because it just was so small, and it was so mostly sports things, which is fine. But I was able to find a little dude, Predaking. He was a little combiner dude, but it's just a little titanium vinyl guy that the line's called Titanium, but just a little minifig of one of my favorite Transformers.
Yeah.
Combiners Predaking. Really neat. The sword does come out and moving things, but I don't know there's much else there. And then it come with this little stand,
cool.
I guess. I don't know. That's just about as cool as this.
Yeah. Really.
I didn't know that these exist. So you know that Nooks at Walmart exist. Those cool little like things you make for bookshelves or DVD cases that got the little movie guys. And they've been movie ones this whole time. And I didn't know that this one existed till I saw in some chat group that there was a Transformers one, and it was already on clearance. And I'm like, well, I'll go look, and it was on some weird ass end cap, and I happened to find him. But there's a little Optimus.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that rules.
Yeah. So, yeah, it is cool. It's really just this. So I'm like, well, this looks more awesome. And I don't have physical media anymore. I kind of just gave all my movies to Mike. So I don't even have movies to put this in. So that just seems, I mean, that's cool, but I'm just going to leave it in the box, but this is awesome.
Yeah.
Right. And it was like $10.
Oh, dang.
So didn't feel bad about that. I think it was 20 originally. So Elgenomics.
Heck yeah.
If I may get off topic, how did you feel about the new Transformers movie, Transformers 1?
I loved it. Now,
Okay.
sure, I'm biased as hell. I
Yeah.
admit that. But like I promise, as unbiased as I could say, like the story is great.
So
The
good.
animation is so amazing.
Yeah. I was shocked at how much I liked it.
Oh, good. That makes me so happy.
I should probably watch it at some point in time.
Yes, Elgin, we
Yeah.
have a toy show. It was
I have to wait till it's a topic before I can watch it.
All right, that's one of the best moments of last year. Was the movie's done, the credits start. I look over to my 9-year-old, and he goes, "That was the greatest movie ever." I'm just like, I'm done. I'm done being a dad. This is great. It was so amazing. I'm so proud of that kid.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I loved it. It's really great. It's
Yeah.
Paramount Plus now, I think.
Yeah,
You can
I
stream it.
believe so. Yeah.
No, I think I have that.
Yeah, you do, Elgin. I know you do, and I know you could go watch
yeah,
it.
'cause you
It's
lived in a house
really
for
good.
a
Ethan
bit-
will love
a
it. There, Ethan, do it for Ethan.
I don't know. He doesn't seem to.
I'll
wanna
message Ethan.
watch.
He'll watch it for me. You won't, but he'll watch it for me.
Oh, whatever. Just make it a topic and I'll watch.
And then we were at a Target. Tiffany disappeared for 2 seconds and came back like, I found you a Starscream. And she did. There's this new little Mix Mashers. They did a line like this a few years ago called Hero Smashers. Same principle, same almost exact-ish toys, but it's a bunch of toys that come apart and you can just swap the arms and legs and bodies and heads and all the things. And they have this Mix Mashers line is through all Hasbro toys. So there's X-Men and Power Rangers and like all the Hasbro lines.
They just put out
Star
Wars.
Wars.
I
Yep.
just saw those. Oh, no.
So I was like, who can I create anyway? But I just want this one. That's all I need is my Starscream. See a Starscream, buy a Starscream, and he can go in my Starscream collection. But it's a neat dumb little toy. But happy to get that. Okay, one more. And then speaking of Star Wars, I'm pretty excited about this crossover series. Transformers does a crossover series. They've probably done 15 toys now from all sorts of things, from like Ghostbusters to Back to the Future cars, turning all the vehicles into things. The party wagon they just did with Turtles. But this is one of their new ones, The Mandalorian, the N1 Starfighter. And
rad.
This thing is pretty cool. Sometimes with Transformers, one of the modes is sacrificed, to make the other one look awesome.
Sure.
And usually it's to make the alt mode look better, and the robot kind of suffers sometimes. But just across the board in Transformers fandom, it's probably one of the best ones that does both well. So it comes with a stand for the fighter. It's got little blast effects. This stand can turn into a shield and gun, which is part of the anyway. The robot mode looks amazing. It's a Mandalorian transformer. It's so cool.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
rad. That's really cool.
Yeah, you can put it into his backpack. It's like
Blast effects, yeah.
the blast
Sweet.
effects.
For your jetpack.
Yeah. Super freaking cool.
Yeah, see, if I had bought that, it'd be out of the box already. I'd have
That's-
transformed it like 8 different times by now.
I'm working on that. I just specifically this crossover line, I haven't opened any of them. I just haven't. I don't know why. It's just been because almost all of them, the packaging is so amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this, you can tell it won't go back in there once you clip these things. It just,
Yeah.
it's not gonna, and
Yeah.
that's fine because he'll look good on the shelf, but I don't know. I'm getting there. I will sometime.
I'm an
Open those.
impulsive person. So
That's why you got to buy 2 of them, Jason.
yeah.
I agree. I
The
agree.
rule of 2.
You just have to.
But so that one is the opposite of what we're talking about today. That was my crazy dumb segue. So that's a toy made from a movie, but we're talking about toys that we find in movies. And I know we've all been watching movies our whole lives, and once in a while we'll be like, "Oh my God, there's a over there. That's it. Did you see that in the background?" What are some of your guys' favorite moments from what movies and what toys? Jump on in.
I told Casey I wouldn't talk about this movie, but I'm going to bring it up anyways.
All right.
So I did not care for this movie, but Casey and I watched Skinamarink in the theater. And for most of that movie, I was kind of checked out. But there's one point where, like, do you guys remember the little, like, telephone with the eyeballs that moved? And it was like the little rotary phone. I had one of those. Yeah, the Fisher-Price phone. Yeah. I had one of those at my grandma's house, and it always kind of freaked me out as a kid. Like, it's a phone with eyes. It's creepy. And that was like the one part of the movie that creeped me out was just there was like a static shot on just like the Fisher-Price phone, and it didn't even move, didn't do anything like most of what happened in that movie. But it just like, that was the part of the movie that I was like, nope, that freaked me out because it just brought me right back to that like childhood of like, you know, going downstairs at night at grandma's and seeing freaking phones staring at me.
Yeah.
So that's like, yeah, that one was a fun little surprise in a movie that otherwise I wasn't a huge fan of. So
yeah, thankfully I didn't watch it because all the guys on AOTKP were like, Jason, I don't think you're made for this kind of movie. So I listen when they tell me that. So
yeah, you know, it resonated with a lot of people. So like, I just wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, one of my favorite movies is The Princess Bride, and I've watched several times over and over. And even my son watches it, and he loves watching it as well. But the first scene, like when you see Fred Savage in there in his bedroom, and you're looking around, and you see all these toys in the background, and I was, you know, it's like, oh, these are like, hey, that's another He-Man toy. That's another He-Man toy. And maybe subconsciously, like as part of it, it was like, oh, that's, you know, part of it as well. Even I had most of the toys when I was a kid, but looking at it, and I was like, what are all the toys? And I'm like, I think I have all of those as vintage toys. And you'll see in the background, you'll see Land Shark with Skeletor in the background, just the front part of it. You'll see the little nose, that kind of that pink. You'll see that. You'll see He-Man and Battle Armor He-Man with his specifically the Battle Armor part. You'll see that with Battle Cat in there. But this is the vintage one. You'll see some Evil Warriors as well. You can see Leech there in the background a little bit. And you can see Spikor there specifically.
Yeah, so many.
You can see Grizzlor, a little furry critter-like creature there, and Webstor. He's in the background. He doesn't have his armor on, but you can see him there. And then on one shot, when they see his mom, they pan to his mom, and it's off in the corner. You can actually see Hordak and Spydor. So you can see this giant spider with Hordak in there as well, sitting on top. and just kind of the giant spider creature there that came out. And most of these came out later in the line, but especially this one and that movie coming out late in '87. It's like most of these are near the end of the line anyway, so they had a bunch of them. But yeah, it's just like looking back, I'm like, I think I have all this. So I'm like going through the stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, got that one. So I'm like, I'll just pull them all out so I can show like these actual vintage ones from that movie, from that scene. It's like, this is awesome.
Cool.
One for me is going to be an obscure one. I know Sam loves this movie as much as I do. It is Happy Madison's The Benchwarmers. And at the end of the movie, there's the guy that Rob Schneider's character picked on in high school.
Yeah.
And he still lives with his mom in his basement. It's kind of the typical like, oh, he's still a nerd. He lives with his mom in his basement and still collects toys thing. It was like 2006 or whatever. Yeah. But he had like this, like, this doesn't hold up, but he had this like cardboard castle he built in his basement, but he had WWE Jax wrestlers like guarding the castle and like a ton of classic superstars, which were the like Toys R Us exclusive ones that every time I'd go to Toys R Us, I was like, I need a Bret Hart or Roddy Piper or Andre the Giant or an old Undertaker or an old Shawn Michaels, just because I was like, these are the classic guys. I need them. So he had like all of them guarding his castle.
Golden Age.
And that it was
awesome.
It was awesome. And he had them like in like different parts of the castle, like guarding it and then like hanging off of it too. Like he had some sort of display set up with them. I don't know. As a kid, I was like, I want to live in this guy's basement. I want those toys.
Yeah.
I was surprised to find how many. You remember My Pet Monster?
Mm-hmm.
It's a toy that I kind of really want now. I've wanted it for a while. I don't remember ever having it as a kid, but since we started this podcast, I've seen them in other people's collections and looked it up, and I'm like, man, that's such a cool thing. Just this little blue monster that had little handcuff chains, and he's great. But he was in 4 different things that I found. Adventures in Babysitting, he's in there.
Yeah.
He was in Monster Squad in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
He was in Ernest Saves Christmas. He's in there. And then the obscure one is he was in an episode of Freddy's Nightmares, the episode called Do You Know Where Your Children Are?
Yeah.
Oh, Miss Tiffany said she had one. She was a kid. She was such a spoiled little. She had all the toys. It wasn't fair at all.
Want to know what's funny? Me and my wife have been talking about My Pet Monster for the longest time. She wants one too. Neither one of us had one growing up. And when we were at Ross, we found a My Pet Monster dog toy.
Yep, I saw that one too when we were at a Ross last, and I'm just like, maybe I need it to fill the.
Our dog got a My Pet Monster.
Oh, lucky little doggy!
So, yeah, and someone is putting out a new My Pet Monster.
Yeah,
the Loyal Subjects.
Makes sense.
This year, so you can maybe get a repro in 2025.
They're doing a lot of stuff this year. Mask, so excited!
It's the big thing.
Elgin Justin had a question here for you. Did you see all this new Motu stuff from a company with a terrible name, Bull Airs?
I did. It's super expensive. It's clothing and it's shoes. They have a line of shoes and they have a line of clothing as well. It's all pre-order stuff, but like shoes starting at $100 and above, like Jordan Airs, but Motu related.
They look amazing.
They look awesome.
Yeah.
But
I want to see you in that Spike-Or jacket.
The Spike-Or
so
jacket.
Bad.
And there's like
so
a
bad.
Trap Jaw hoodie and there's skeletal jackets and stuff like that. But it's all crazy stuff, but like super expensive. I did see that and I was like, I went to see it. Well, wonder how much these are. It's just like $200, $300, $400 stuff, stuff. And it's like
Jeremy
like
Cheney in
or...
our Facebook group that we have there, the toy room, he said he pre-ordered all of them. He's like a shoe guy. I'm just like, I don't understand shoe. I mean, I should understand shoe guys and collecting, but shoe guys are a different kind of people, aren't they?
They do have those what are they called? I think they're called like airheads or something like that Bull's Air puts out. They're like they almost look like Mad Balls or like Funko Pop heads, but they're like soft vinyl, I think. Yeah,
for sure.
I know they put out like Puppet Master ones and Toxic Crusader ones. I don't know if they did Masters of the Universe of those.
There was a time where I dabbled in being a shoe guy, but it got too expensive.
How do you
shoes are
keep-
so spendy.
How do you- And then the whole wear them, not wear them. I mean, again,
Yeah, I know. I always got I'd have like a sick pair of like Star Wars sneakers, and then within like a month, I'd be like, oh, these don't look good anymore, you know. But like, what's the point of having shoes if you're not? It's like the toy thing. I take it out of the box and I use it, you know.
for its purpose. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So something from a newer TV show, Stranger Things. Of
Oh
course,
man.
as a throwback to a lot of 80s stuff. I actually had started. I hadn't really watched it when it first was on. I was waiting for it to hopefully be done so I could just binge watch all of it. But I ended up watching the first 2 seasons, and in one of those episodes, Erica Sinclair Lucas's sister you see her like in the bedroom, and she has like He-Man and Barbie, and they're like making out.
Yeah.
And then Lucas comes in, he's like, "What are you doing?" and like grabs He-Man from her and stuff. Like, "Well, you saved me, He-Man." But I think that like happened. Like, I know my wife was telling me like when she was younger, her brother had He-Man stuff and like she had Barbie stuff. It's kind of what you do. You know, he said
that's how Princess of Power was made.
Exactly.
Yep,
But yeah, just from something that's newer instead of 80s.
Yeah, Stranger Things has so much stuff in that show.
Yeah. I feel like the Goldbergs is a series that's ripe for that kind of thing too.
Sure.
Like especially like the Star Wars thing. One episode of there's that 70s show episode where Eric
has them, yeah.
Eric has like the like collector's set of Star Wars action figures, and he suspects that like a kid stole his Darth Vader or I think it's his Darth Vader or his Luke. One of the big ones, like he thinks a kid stole it, and like I relate so hard to that episode because how many times was I like playing Star Wars action figures with like friends, and then later I wouldn't be able to find one, and I'd immediately go to like they took it, they stole it, you know, and then I'd find it like under my bed 2 weeks later and feel like a jerk, but.
I relate hard to that because I started getting back into collecting in high school. And so my dad was very much Red Foreman in that situation.
Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't find a lot of Transformers in movies, but there is one very famous, well, maybe not for everyone, but for a Transformers fan, there's a very famous movie called Alien. I don't know if you've heard of it. Alien.
Never.
What is
What's it about?
Alien. And so in the movie,
is it about immigration?
No, in the that's too topical. Knock it off. In the like medical bay, they have like tools and devices hanging from the ceiling, and they have a shockwave gun upside down, and there's like multiples of them. Yes, that movie.
This one?
What is it?
Alien?
On video cassette.
On video cassette.
But Shockwave is a purple gun, and he kind of lights up. And the original toy was very large and kind of real size for a laser gun, you know. But in the movie, they're upside down, and they look like just a tool in a doctor's office. And when I see it, I'm just like, oh my god, that's so stupid, because you're like, that's a toy gun. You're trying to fool us. That's a prop in a movie. And anyway, but that's awesome.
That just unlocked another one for me. In the first Guardians of the Galaxy. So like I said, I was a flea market kid. Like I'd go to flea markets, and like when I was a kid, like I was always like a decade behind everybody else. I didn't know what a PlayStation was until the PlayStation 2 had already come out. Like I was that kid, right?
Yeah.
So like I was like buying up like the 80s Ninja Turtles and all that stuff. And troll dolls were like such a thing. I loved playing with the hair and all that. And in the original Guardians of the Galaxy, Peter Quill swaps out the like MacGuffin of that movie for a troll doll with Yondu. He opens up the little orb at the end, and there's just a little like troll doll, and he puts it up on his like little trinket dashboard or whatever. And I just always got a kick out of that because I was like, troll dolls, that totally my thing back in the day. Loved that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and going back to 80s movies as well. I mean, Big with Tom Hanks. He's working at a toy company, and you see like flashes of other toys, famously the Thunderhawk Master of the Universe toy, which was new at that time. And then like Roton, I think, is in there as well. But like just kind of like flashes of, oh, there's Mochi stuff out there. It just kind of pops out,
Same with like Child's Play, because he's a doll and he's in stores. When they go to this toy stores, you get to see a Captain Power Interlocker. You get to see a Princess of Power Crystal Castle in box.
Yeah.
And you also see a Thundercats Thunder Tank in box too. Just things that you see on the shelves in there. I know you guys couldn't wait. Oh yeah, that guy.
I know.
Oh,
There he is.
Yeah, my good guy doll. I know he's technically a toy from a movie, but yeah. I don't know what his hair's doing, but whatever.
He's going through a phase.
He's going through a phase. He's a little emo right now. Been listening to My Chemical Romance a little too much.
Any others you guys can think of?
I mean, like growing up, Toy Story was a big one for me, and like, I mean, obviously, like a lot of those toys were made for the movie, but you had like
The Green
Potato
Army
Head in there, the Green Army Men, which I always had.
Yeah.
In the
either
the third
Barbie
or
and
fourth
Ken
one.
show up.
Yeah,
In the third.
in the third or fourth
Well,
one, they have
the second one,
the
Barbie's in it. Yeah.
the monkey with the symbols.
Oh yeah.
And that, because they included that the new movie, The Monkey with Oz Perkins, they had to change it to a monkey with a drum instead.
I like it,
which
but
is
I like it
hilarious.
more. I like it
Yeah,
more.
it's better with a drum actually in that movie in particular. But I had like all the Toy Story toys. Like that was like, it was just, that was my generation. And I shit you guys not, I went to Godfather's one time and I brought my Woody doll with me. I went to a pizza place with my Woody doll. And when I got home, I could not find it. And I lost Woody at a freaking Godfather's pizza.
He went on an adventure.
He hasn't made his way home
and
yet.
he never came back.
Oh.
He found it. He must have found a better home than Sid. It was heartbreaking. And having watched the movie, it was one of those things where like in my mind I was like, oh no, like I have abandoned someone who loves me. The movie traumatized me.
Cue the Sarah McLachlan music.
Sam, did you also write your name on the bottom of all their feet?
I did, yeah.
I did too. Yeah.
I was still
adorable.
buying Toy Story toys. Toy Story 3 came out the summer before my senior year of high school. And I remember like that summer I bought a new Buzz Lightyear just because I wanted one, and I wrote my name on it. And I literally brought him, like, this is such a nerdy thing, I brought him to like drumline rehearsals with me. And like he sat in the back of the band room for like that entire marching band season.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I had one more. It's another Christmassy type movie, so you get the tie-in maybe, but I know you guys have seen Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Oh,
Yeah.
But in there's a Jabba the Hutt figure in box, and you also see another Castle Grayskull in there, so that's pretty cool. Oh, toys. And there's tons more. And I know that we all geek out when we see something. There it is! Oh my God!
Or the Leo DiCaprio meme.
Yeah, exactly.
Every single time. All right. Well, let's take a quick little break here. You're going to hear from the PFPN. That's our podcast network. You guys know about that network. The PFPN, home of lots of amazing, awesome podcasts like Screams from the Basement and others. This nice lady is going to tell you all about it.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
All right, Elgin's going to take us on a toy store tour now. Boy, I messed that up.
All right, today's store we're going to is called St. Nix Collectibles, Toys and Antiques at 1834 Main Street, number 18 in Longmont, Colorado. That's right. It's 11 hours and 25 minutes from Ottumwa, Iowa. So those snacks
Gas it up.
and get the big gulp and start driving out west. But if you're already in Colorado, specifically Denver, then you only have to drive an hour and 8 minutes north to get to Longmont, Colorado. Of course, the store has Marvel, DC, Cops, My Pet Monster. That's right, they have one in there. Barbie, Transformers, and much, much more. Did you know that Longmont is home to Colorado's first public library? It started in 1871 as the Library Hall. It has around 300 books, and it also sits on the ancestral homeland of the Northern Arapaho First Nation tribe. And comedian Kristen Schaal was born there.
Whoa.
That's right. All those things can be found in Longmont, Colorado, along with St. Nick's Collectibles, Toys, and Antiques at 1834 Main Street, number 18.
Thank you, Elgin. We always learn something, at least on this show, if it's not just from that only. But yeah. Well, before we go today, just want to remind everyone, if you want to help support this fine podcast, you can do so lots of different ways. One, tell a friend. It's easy. Just be like, hey, check this out. Send them a link or something.
Yeah.
You can give 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. That's still a thing, right? I thought so.
I think it is.
But like Elgin mentioned earlier, there's enlistinthecore.com. That's our Patreon. There's lots of tiers over there to check out. It all goes back into the show. Lots of cool perks. Or if you're more of a YouTube person, hit that join button down below. Same perks. You get lots of cool things there too.
Yep.
All appreciated. But like I said, one of those perks is shout outs on the show. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to shout out our core members, Tony Miller, Chris Turnip Simmons, Alex LaForest, Bill Fisher, and Colin Bunn. Thank you guys so much for helping out the show. That little bit extra, I really appreciate it.
Definitely.
Sam and Casey, guys, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us. This
Fairly
was a
painless,
blast.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, this was so much fun.
this was amazing. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, tell everybody again where they can find you guys and get followed on all your stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. We've got accounts on all those if you just search Screams from the Basement, and we're on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Casey, you got anything more?
And then we're throwing our first ever Screams by Night halfway to Halloween Con on
Yeah.
April 26th in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, a one-day event celebrating everything Halloween, as we'll be halfway to our favorite holiday. We have already announced Mark Torgel, the original Toxic Avenger, as one of our guests coming to the con. We did finalize 2 more guests that we will announce in the next couple weeks. So be on the lookout for that. Then over 24 vendors going to be there. We're going to have food trucks, panels, all that fun stuff. So Screams by Night halfway to Halloween Con. You can find a link to that on all of our social media pages to buy tickets and learn more.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Well, I guess now we're just going to go watch some more movies and try to find some more toys, I assume. Thanks to everybody. Thanks for watching and listening. We'll talk to you later. Keep being awesome. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Cracktastic Plastic Podcast. But not so fast, my foul fiends. Don't don't forget to follow these fools on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And visit cracktasticplastic.com. I'll be back.